not only am I a redneck, I'm married into rednecks. I'm married into world-class rednecks. My wife and her entire family are from the great state of Louisiana. So don't guess we have anybody from Louisiana here, right? Really? Seriously? Are you kidding? What do you think about this electricity? This is not minutes. Different colors and everything. I really didn't expect somebody from Louisiana. What part of Louisiana? Alexandria. Yeah, my wife is from New Orleans, and I kid Louisiana, but you'll back me up. Greatest food on the planet Earth, as long as you don't ask too many questions. Because as long as there's a ditch on the side of the road, nobody is going hungry in Louisiana. And you'll back me up on this, because my wife's from New Orleans, as I said, but she's got all these cousins from Thibodeau and Bunkie, all those Cajun places. You've seen swamp people? That's my wife's relatives. 27 of them came to our house last Thanksgiving. I didn't understand a word they said all weekend. The kids were like, hey, Mr. Jim, you think I'd be all right to go out there outside the house this here, go in the back drawer, get a robe? You think I'd be all right with do that, huh? Okay. An hour later, my wife's like, did you tell them they could jump off the garage roof? I might have. I have no idea what they're saying. But boy, they brought some great food with you. I'd be sitting there at the table going, man, this is delicious. What is it? They were like, you don't want to know. You put your little more hot sauce on and keep chewing there, city boy. Like, come on, give me a clue. Does it swim? Does it fly? Maybe it do and maybe it don't. You just keep eating. I saw him hit boiling pots with a wooden spoon going, get back in there right now. And my wife has all these cousins up in the northern part of the state, up around Shreveport. Several years ago, they had this pretty bad flooding there. And so we were watching it on the news. You know, we were concerned. And I said to my wife, I said, you wait, before the story's over, CNN will go find the biggest idiot they can locate. I said, they're going to show somebody walking chest deep in water right through the middle of town. And they did. And it was my wife's cousin, Danny. But not only was Danny walking chest deep in water, he was holding an umbrella. I'm looking at my wife going, that has got to make you proud right there. That's your bloodline on national television. I gave her so much grief about that. Until it occurred to me this woman and I had children together. And Lord, knowing what I know about my family and knowing what I know about hers, it made me worry about our offspring. Because you mix stagnant pond water with raw sewage, you ain't getting Evian. Fact of life, you do not want a kidney stone. May want to paint your butt cheeks in honey and sit in a fire ant bed, but you do not want a kidney stone. How many people here have had a kidney stone? Oh, wow. All right, here's how I know you don't want one. A couple years ago, I was getting new tires put on my truck. They've already put the tires on. I'm actually inside at the counter about to pay for them. I feel fine. Out of nowhere, it felt like I got hit in the back with a bolt of lightning. I made a noise. I was like, ah! I didn't say it was a masculine noise. It was a noise. About 10 seconds later, it hit me again. And Dwayne, the guy that was ringing me up, he looked at me and he said, and I quote, he goes, hey, I ain't no doctor, which caught me off guard. It did. Because I assumed he was, and he didn't like wearing the stethoscope while he was changing tires. He goes, I ain't no doctor, but I think you got a kidney stone because my brother had one, and that's what he acted like. And it wasn't that I didn't trust Dwayne's diagnosis. But I got to thinking, you know, Jeff, you have a little money. Why not get a second opinion? So I have a friend that's a urologist, and I called him. I said, dude, I think I might have a kidney stone. He said, well, come in, we'll take an x-ray. And I did, and they took the x-ray, and he comes out. He thinks he's a comedian. He's like, well, I got good news and bad news. He said, good news is you don't have a kidney stone. The bad news is you have 5 of them, and one of them is huge. And he proceeded to give me an anatomy lesson. Apparently kidney stones form inside the kidneys, but when they're in the kidney, you don't know you have it. Doesn't hurt. It's only when it leaves the kidneys and goes down a tiny tube called the ureter down to the bladder that it hurts. And for people that have never had one, they need to rename them, because when y'all hear stone, you're thinking smooth river rock gently tumbling down the stream. This is not, a kidney stone has got hooks and spikes and claws. So in a big one, he told me, can be 6 or 7 times wider than the tube. So when it moves, every time it moves, it is cutting and ripping through muscles and nerves and blood vessels. He said passing a big one was the equivalent of a woman giving birth without even an aspirin. So are there women in here tonight? Raise your hand if you've done both. You've had a kidney stone and a baby. Several. Which one was the pain worse? Kidney stone. Kidney stone. Anybody else? Kidney stone. Anybody? Kidney stone. Anybody else? Baby or kidney stone? Which one was the pain worse? Kidney stone. Nobody says the baby? Oh, no, this lady does. She said the baby. Okay, as defense attorney for the kidney stone, this would be my argument. A year or 2 after having a baby, a woman will say, you know what, I am about ready to have another child. You never hear someone go, well, I'm about through crying and puking. I think I'll drink a case of Coca-Cola and see if I can't work up another kidney stone. I mean, the point is, it's horrible pain. And when the doctor saw the big one, he immediately started writing me a prescription for Percocet. And I said, dude, I don't take aspirin. There's no chance I'm going to take a Percocet. That thing started moving. I'm eating Percocet like they are peanut M&Ms. I went from being Dr. Oz to Keith Richards in about 3 seconds. And one night the pain was so bad the Percocet didn't make a dent in it. And I looked at my wife and said, you got to take me to the hospital. I feel like I'm dying. And if you ever go to the hospital with a kidney stone, Jeff told you up front, they're going to laugh at you. They do. They think it's a big joke. She pulls into the little circle, the emergency room. I got out. She went to park. I walk in. The lady's at the desk. She said, what's wrong, hon? I said, I have a kidney stone. She goes, She said, you're going to be waiting a long time tonight, baby. I said, no, ma'am, I cannot wait a long time. I said, this is the worst pain I've ever been in my life. She said, well, you just feel like you're going to die, but you're not. And she handed me the clipboard and shooed me. And I go into the waiting area. I sit down next to a man that has a knife in his head. The guy has got a knife stuck in his head. I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, were you in a fight? He said, no, I have a kidney stone. I did this to myself trying to get to the back there. And sometimes when this stone would move, when it settled in such a way that it would block the urine stream. And then all of a sudden that tiny tube ballooned up, and it was the weirdest feeling because you felt like you were going to wet your pants. But when you tried to go, oh my word, did it hurt. And y'all, this went on for 6 weeks. 6 weeks. I passed the 4 smaller stones, but that big one was moving like every day, and they're like, give it a chance. And man, when it moved, it would put me on my knees, and then it would block the urine, and I'd have tears rolling down my face. And I thought, I am going to lose my mind. And then all of a sudden I hit 4 days where I felt great. And I was thinking, well, did it dissolve, or I didn't see it? Maybe it just, went away. And I went back to the doctor. They took another x-ray. Well, that big stone had lodged right at a bend in the ureter, right next to the bladder. But because it had lodged, it wasn't moving, so it didn't hurt. and it wasn't blocking the urine. And I'm like, let's leave it there till the Lord comes back, you know? But the doctor, he's looking at the x-ray. He goes, yeah, I don't like where that's at. He said, I'll give you about a week to pass it, and if you don't, we'll have to go get it. I have a question. When you say go get it, what kind of trip are we talking about there? He said, well, we've got this flexible metal cord that's got a retractable claw at the end of it. He said, what we do is we'll run the cord up your exit only ramp through your bladder. He said, we'll find that stone, we'll grab it, and we'll drag it out kicking and screaming. He said, once we get it out, we'll put a stent in the claw, go right back in a second time, and insert this stent into the walls of the ureter, which by now, quite honestly, have lost the will to live. He said, we'll leave it in there for a week or two. We go back in a third time, we grab the stent, and we just yank it out. And I am thinking, since they outlawed waterboarding, this is what they are doing to get terrorists to talk. So where's bin Laden? I do not know. Oh, you don't know. All right, well, we're going to get the flexible cord and see if we can find a kidney stone. He is living in a white house on the corner in Pakistan. The gate code is, yeah. You will find him upstairs, last bedroom on the right. I am telling you, the idea of 3 trips with a claw scared the willy out of me. I said, I'm not doing that. So I read online, maybe they said cranberry juice will help you pass one. I'm guzzling cranberry juice. I'm jumping on the trampoline. I am doing anything I can think of to dislodge this thing, and it must have worked. Because a couple of nights later, my wife and I are watching television. At one point, I got up to go to the restroom. Right in the middle of going, I had just like a split-second little knee-buckling, sharp pain. I was like, whoo! Yeah, I look down, and there is this gray, spiky BB rolling down the inside of the toilet towards the hole. My mother always says, Jeff, you don't have to tell everything. Like, there's good money in it, Mother, trust me. And it's good. And y'all, I am not proud of this. But when I saw that thing about to disappear down the hole, after 6 weeks, I wanted it. And it was not a conscious thought. I stuck my arm in there, I grabbed it, and I pulled it out. Wiped my arm on my pants, zipped them up. I marched down the hall into the living room. I went to the mantle. I took down my People's Choice Award, and I put it right up there in the track lighting. I don't know why when a woman gets in the bed, the temperature of her feet and butt drop to below freezing. It could be 98 degrees outside. That butt is ice cold and want to put it on you. It's like snuggling with a butterball turkey. I don't know why the dentist makes you lie to them. Like every time I go to the dentist, they'll be looking at my mouth. They're like, ooh, you have not been flossing every day, have you? No, not every day. Let me think. The last time I flossed, you did it. I don't know why the bank leaves the vault door wide open, but changed the 25-cent ink pen to the counter. And why does the drive-up banking window have directions written in Braille? They do. Look at it the next time you're there. I don't know why the people with the worst breath always stand the closest to you when they talk. They're like, guess what? I don't know. You have a dirty diaper in your mouth? Can I tell you something? Okay, but do it quick. I can only hold my breath for 30 seconds. You always try to offer them a piece of gum or a mint. They never take it. They're like, oh, no thanks. I don't like the way those taste. Yeah, I can see where you wouldn't prefer peppermint to that cat poop you're gnawing on right now. I don't know why you can't ride a bicycle anymore without dressing like Lance Armstrong in the Tour de France. Anybody remember when you could ride a bicycle wearing blue jeans and a t-shirt? Not anymore. Now you got to have the uni. And it's not just young athletic people. You got these fat middle-aged guys. They look like the Michelin Man in a wetsuit. And they've got sponsor logos. Who's sponsoring you, Pop? Dunkin' Donuts, all right. Pedal on, doughboy, pedal on. I don't know why only rednecks are seeing UFOs. And here's the thing, you got to discount a ton of that stuff right off the top. Because my Uncle Jerry swore they had crop circles in their yard. Then we talked to his wife, found out she had called Goodwill and they'd picked up the trampoline and the boat trailer, so mystery solved. But let's just say aliens are coming to Earth and they didn't want people to know they were coming to Earth. It would make sense that they would only reveal themselves to rednecks. Well, because A, we usually live out in the country, so not going to be a lot of witnesses. B, we have no credibility with the media. People might believe a doctor from UCLA if he saw one and said, well, they appear to be bipods from a hydrogen and nitrogen enriched environment whose primary respiratory organ was located within their moist translucent epidermis. As opposed to Cletus in his overalls going, it looked like a giant booger with real skinny legs. Okay. I don't know why a dog can eat his own vomit, gobble up cat poop, and lick his rear end for hours and be totally fine. But if he eats half a candy bar, he dies. I don't know why in this age of sexual equality we still have jobs that we will call a man's job or a woman's job. Like if there's a noise in the house in the middle of the night, whose job is it to go check the noise out? It's the man, let's be honest. Yeah, you never see this. Phyllis, run downstairs, see what that noise was. Hey, and bring me back a piece of chicken, okay? Now, if there's a noise in the house in the middle of the night, it's the man checking it out in his underwear carrying a baseball bat. Because that is the official uniform of suspicious noises, underpants and a baseball bat. I don't know what we're hoping to find, some guy in the living room in his underwear with a ball. And my dad didn't even need the baseball bat because my dad wore those gigantic boxer shorts that were always gapped open in the front. That gap was like a taser to a thief. Shut the gap, shut the gap. Here, take my wallet, just shut that gap. I don't know why every time I get great tickets to a concert, I end up being seated next to somebody that has to sing every song at the top of their lungs. So I live in Atlanta. Several years ago, Simon and Garfunkel came to Atlanta. My wife wanted to go. She had a couple of friends that wanted to go. My mother-in-law wanted to go. Give you a little backstory on my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law has hearing aids, but she hardly ever wears them because she thinks they don't look good. But when she doesn't wear them, she cannot hear a thing, and she talks louder than anybody on the planet. One night around Christmas, we went to the movies one night. We're standing in that long line at the concession stand. My mother-in-law walked over to me and goes, "Don't look now, but the man behind us is cross-eyed as a bat." Which is bad for two reasons. One, you're embarrassed to death. And two, when somebody says something like that, you've got to look, yeah. So I'm like, poor guy was glaring at me. Well, he may not have been glaring at me, but he was glaring at somebody. So we go to the concert. Somehow I end up seated next to my mother-in-law. She sang every Simon and Garfunkel song, and she knew the words to none of them. Like a witch over Bubbles' daughter. Are you kidding me? I will grease your pine. Grease your pine. That's what you got out of that. I don't know why cats never throw up in the daytime. They don't. Cats, they wait until you are lying in bed, almost asleep, and then you hear that noise from somewhere in your home. Heck. Heck, 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 heck. Heck, heck, heck. Remind me to put my slippers on in the morning. And you do want to put your slippers on, because you find that with your bare foot, you don't need coffee, because you are awake and looking for a cat. And my poor wife, bless her heart, she has to clean it up every time. Well, it's not that I haven't tried. I have tried. It's just every time I get near it, I make the same noises the cat makes.
Late on Saturday morning, and you don't want the Jehovah's Witnesses waking you up? Friday night, before you go to bed, get a piece of chalk, draw an outline of a human body outside your front door, then throw some religious pamphlets out around it. Sleep till noon if you want to. I used to sleep till noon when I was single. I didn't like being single. Too tough. Dating was tough. Any guys ever go out with a girl that forgot to tell you she had a boyfriend? That's information you need, yeah? This happened to me. I went out with this girl, and we had a good time. We went out to dinner, and then after dinner, we came back to my apartment. We'd been at my place about half an hour when there was a knock on my front door. I walked out, opened the door. There's this 250-pound guy staring at me going, "What the hell you think you're doing with her?" I looked him right in the eyes, and I said, "I'm cutting her damn hair, and you're just going to have to wait, all right?" Called save your own tail there, boy. Being married. I love my wife to death. I love women. I don't understand everything about them yet, but I love them. Like, I don't understand, why is it when a woman gets in the bed, the temperature of her feet and butt drop to below freezing? It can be 98 degrees outside. That butt is ice cold. And want to put it on you. It's like snuggling with a butterball turkey. Honest to God, I can lick my hand, put it on my wife's butt, it'll stick, you know? I've learned this. Women care more about their appearance than men. Don't they, guys? Yeah. Well, you never see like a guy picking up his buddy to go fishing at 5 o'clock in the morning going, "Damn, Bill, you ain't gonna wear that shirt with them shoes, are you?" It's after Labor Day, for crying out loud. Women care more about smell than men. My wife's always asked me, "Do I smell good? You like the way I smell?" I mean, hell, if men have an odor, it's usually an accident. You know? Charles, what is that intoxicating fragrance? No, that's Michelob. I hit a bump in a truck. Men and women both care about smell, but women go to trouble to smell good, you know. Men are more like, "Hey, does this stink too bad to wear one more time? Maybe I should put it in the dryer." Men love that dryer, don't we? And we'll find a shirt in the sewer, put it in the dryer. That's some gun ready to go right there. Thank you very much. You guys have been great. I hope you see you again. But they have a rule in my neighborhood. If you walk your dog and your dog does his business in somebody else's yard, you need to get a little plastic bag, pick it up, and dispose of it. And I know the dogs are confused. The dogs are like, "Wait a minute, you're taking it back home? Why did we have to walk 3 blocks? I could have pooped in the living room, saved us both some embarrassment." What a stupid rule. Why would they have us pick it up? It's fertilizer. It makes the grass grow. Lord, it's not like some child is going to step in it. A kid hadn't played in the yard since 1982. You know what's sad? We have an entire generation that has no idea how to get dog poop off the bottom of their shoe. But when I was growing up, we played in the yard every day, and every day somebody stepped in dog poop. And when it was your turn, you knew what to do about it. You would hobble over to the curb and scrape the biggest part off on the edge of the curb. Then you would find a puddle and you would swirl the bottom of your shoe around in the puddle. Then limp over to the grass and do the brush stroke back and forth. Then you would find a little bitty piece of stick and you would sit down on the curb and you would pick it out of the zigzag pattern on the bottom. Then you wore those shoes to church the next day. And nobody in that church knew you'd stepped in dog poop. See, when it comes to technology, my wife and I laugh about this because we're in our mid-50s and my wife says we are the bologna in the technology bologna sandwich. We're right in the middle because our parents can't text and our children can't write. My kids don't even think you need to study. They're like, "Dad, if you want to know something, you just Google it." And to a point, they're right. I mean, when I was growing up, if you were watching TV and somebody said, "What was that guy in?" You'd go, "Well, he looks familiar." That was it. Now you're watching TV, somebody goes, "What was that guy in?" Somebody goes, "He was the janitor on Joey." Of course he was. But I try to tell my kids, I said, "Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can learn from Google." I said, "But there's just as much stuff you can't learn from Google. You only learn it from life experience. You'll usually learn most of it the hard way. It's stuff that's not Googleable." I don't know if that's a word. But I call them the facts of life. It's stuff you can't Google. Like this, fact of life. If you are trying to get to the bathroom in an emergency situation, it is not a wise idea to unbutton your pants in transit trying to save a couple of seconds. Because the muscles that guard the floodgates will interpret the unbuttoning as the signal to abandon their post. And the 2 seconds you saved on the button are nullified by the hour and a half you spend mopping and doing laundry. You only learn that the hard way. Fact of life. If you are going to see a scary movie at the movie theater, it will be much more entertaining if you can find a seat directly behind a group of black women.
Because not only will you get the scary movie, you will also get their running commentary of the scary movie. Oh, look at this. She running around in her panties like that. Girl, put some drawers on. And put that hair up before he snatched that weave out your head. Now, can you see this girlfriend? She going back in the house. No, she going down to the basement. Girl, get your shit and get out there now. Fact of life, women always have more questions than men have answers to. Great example of this. 6, 7 months ago, I get a text one day. The text says, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. I walk into the kitchen where my wife is. I said, hey, I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. She said, was he driving? I said, I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. Were Carol and the kids in the car with him? I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. Were the people in the other car hurt? I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. What hospital did they take him to? I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. She said, well, you don't know anything. What do you know? I know you need to pray for Tom. I just got a text said he was in a bad wreck. That's all I got. I ain't holding anything back. That's it. People pointing at each other here.